right, and welcome
Alrighty.
on into DMS Adventures Tavern, where adventure is always on the menu. We are super excited to kick off. This weekend is Extra Life Tabletop Appreciation Weekend, and we will be doing some extra streams throughout the weekend. But the big thing that I'm super excited about is that we also have, you can donate during our D&D games as well, and well, unbeknownst to the players, you may affect how things go if you donate, so you never know. But before we get into our game for tonight, we do have our weekly schedule, which is, of course, Monday, our Dragon of Icespire Peak adventure. I heard rumor that there might be a dragon in their very, 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 very near future. Then, of course, our Friday Eberron campaign and our Saturday Strix 7 College of Chaos adventure. Speaking of the extra live streams, though, we will be playing Tabletop Simulator, at the very least a little bit tomorrow, possibly throughout the weekend, though, as I will be joining some other streamers with some tabletop games. I'm super excited, and super excited to teach a couple of different games to a couple other streamers as well. So join us for that. We are raising money for our local children's hospital, and I was just informed that we have about $3,000 goal for this weekend as a regional team. So my goal for the weekend is actually to hit, I think I figured about $100 for the weekend, which would be awesome, which would put us just about $200 overall so far this year. But
Because you want the dice tray.
well, yeah, because there's a dice tray reward to go with my dice and my other dice and the, dice. Gotta have somewhere to roll the clickety clacks. Yeah, no, there's a dice tray is the reward for raising over $80 for this weekend, and it would go really well with my D20 that I got the first year and the really pretty dice that I got last year. So that's the goal, but we'll see what that entails. But the other announcement before we get into our super awesome adventure here within Eberron is today, specifically today, 7 years ago, a very special member of our family came into our lives. Today is Ashley's Gotcha Day. So our family was completed with the gotcha day here. So he's been getting got a lot today. And then all of the treats, all of the things, he's super excited. So
Yeah, Reese found him in the backyard.
yep, the dog found another brother out in the backyard, and we saved him from the triple-digit heat, and he became a member of our
But
family.
we were not going to keep him. We were 100% not going to keep him.
100% not gonna keep the super adorable, lovable kitty. Yeah, that worked well. 7 years later, clearly worked well.
Listen, at least you knew it was a lie.
It's true. All right, well, with all of that, let's into our Eberron campaign with, I didn't clear Tor's, Toll the Dead dice on there. All right, so with that, the sixth part of our Oracle of War campaign set here in Eberron is called The Last Word. All right, now, with that, when we left off with this campaign, you guys had just been to the city of, does anybody remember?
Darn.
There we go. The city of Sharn, where, of course, beyond everything else, you helped a very, what's a nice word to use for him? Unexperienced man go on a date with a woman that he had been very much hoping to go on
Awkward
a date.
AF, okay?
Okay, yeah, that's probably more truthful. But successfully, you were able to help him with his date and score him another one. But in doing so, you also were able to gain access to a gynosphinx, which was supposed to be the current expert on the draconic prophecy, and in getting an audience with them and having forded some of the people that were trying to attack them, you talked to them and got a little bit of information, but the most important of which was that they would go ahead and help you out to the best of their ability. By the way, oh, really? You're gonna... Okay, it's gonna not cooperate and be a handout. You guys might be able to see the actual handout, but apparently my computer does not want me to. But you were able to... it's kind of a breakdown as to what you have gotten through Fortunes of War. It's a 3-part storyline for the Oracle of War campaign. In the ruins of the Moorland, you recovered a strange device known as the Oracle of War. This artifact had the power to provide tactical advice, but soon seemed to malfunction and reveal a verse of what you figured out was the draconic prophecy. When dark lanterns flicker in the light of the silver torch, the king in green rides north on a bolt of steel. 2 nations prepare for war. All eyes turn to sky blue. Now, this device itself shut down, but started to repeat the words "Third Protocol activated." Shortly after, a gang of assassins arrived within Salvation, the town that you were in, with orders to recover the device. After you defeated them, it seemed that the Oracle of War was now functional again, and you headed to the city of Sharn. In doing so, you went to the Moorgrave University to find out more about the Oracle of War, as well as uncover the meaning of the verse of the Draconic Prophecy. And the one thing you did learn is that you can influence the outcome of the future. So, the Flamewind, the Sphinx, agreed to help you by researching the verse that you had learned, and had sent you out on your way within Sharn, where you actually met back up with the professor and had just a good time on the town of Sharn. So, we actually find ourselves back within the city of Sharn. And I would like everyone to please make sure and note that you have 1 hero point added to your character sheet at this point. Alright. So, with that, you receive a urgent summons to the Sphinx residence within the Moorgrave University. And so we find ourselves right back within the room of the Sphinx.
I believe I had earned some type of all-powerful weapon for completing her trial.
No, you gained a what is it called? You gained her favor. Is what you...
The mark of the walking cane on your knee.
That too, maybe? But yes, you gained the favor of her. So, yeah, you did not get a weapon. You just got the favor of her. Alright, so, let's see here. You got a story award, is what it amounted to. Known as, the Flamewind's favor. You've impressed the Sphinx Flamewind with your performance during the duel, specifically. So you all received an urgent summons to the office of Flamewind, the Sphinx resident at Moorgrave University in the city of Sharn. You arrive there in the late hours of the morning. Upon arrival, a chamberlain greets you near the entrance and hurriedly guides you up to see Flamewind, which, one, you already know where they are, but also, two, now you see what they mean by only those who the Sphinx approves gets in without going through some extra trials. So you, okay. Alright, there we go. So, as Flamewind's chamber occupies the apex of the dome at the top of the Lareth Tower, inside the large window overlooks the magnificent skyline of Sharn. And you see that a desk too tall for the average humanoid to use sits in the middle of the room. Shelves stacked with books and scrolls decorate one wall, a map of the countryside the other. Behind the desk, a big creature straightens as she stands up on all four of her legs. Her black and orange lioness body takes up most of the space behind the desk, and her elven face is serious, but welcoming. As the Sphinx looks over at you, she gives a smile and says, "Ah, my favorite adventurers! I'm afraid destiny calls upon you already. I require your assistance."
The ceiling still broken? The skylight?
No, it is fixed. You did see, like, other parts of it, like, below. There was still some repairs going on, but specifically her dome, the glass over her area, is completely fixed. And she says, "So, I definitely need your assistance. As I have made progress on the prophecy that you came to me with."
I'm interested.
So, like I said, you said the prophecy goes as follows. When dark lanterns flicker in the light of the silver torch, the king in green rides north on a bolt of steel. Two nations prepare for war, all eyes turn to sky blue. I believe that the Tharnish intelligence service, known as the Silver Torch, is ready to strike against Brelish counterpart, known as the King's Dark Lanterns. If their actions are exposed, it could lead to war between the two nations. Now, the King in Green could refer to Kor in Wynern, King Bornell's younger brother. In the older kingdom of Galifar, those in line to the throne wore green sashes while in court. Now, I assume that the bolt of steel most likely refers to the lightning rail. If the prophecy were to come true and war with Thrain looms, then the king's brother will probably ride the lightning rail north to the Sword Keep and reinforce their brother's border. But, I mean, there is some other things that I believe might also be in keeping with that. And one of those things is I will give you. That's all the information that I just said. She goes on to say, I have unearthed another verse of the Draconic prophecy which might apply to this. She says, it goes, "The dog of war dances on water by the light of the silver torch." Now, I believe that these two verses may be connected. I suspect that there might be a spy from the Silver Torch working within the royal court. I don't know their name, as they're only described in the verse by the strange moniker of the Dog of War. Now, tomorrow night is an annual Armis ball is to be held on the river galleon known as the Montelet. The scallion is docked at the Warrett's Howling River, and much of the nation's nobility will probably be there. I expect in being so that the spy probably will show up there to carry out their mission. Now, that all being said, the last line of the first prophecy, all eyes turn to sky blue, still remains a mystery. And I believe that if it is the case that this spy will have the audacity to show up to complete their mission here, I believe you might be able to thwart this mission. If you can find a way to infiltrate this ball. Like I said, it is
No way to get on the list.
I mean, not that I'm aware. I mean, perhaps in scouting the Howling River where it is docked, you might be able to figure out a way to get on board. I do not know anyone well enough to get you onto the ship itself myself.
Would any of the houses have the ability to get people in here?
I mean, perhaps. Perhaps. I do not. I mean, if you are well connected enough, perhaps a house could aid you in this. But the thing is that even if you were to get the aid of a house or that situation, this is a mission of perhaps we want to keep on the down low, and I mean, if you can identify the spy and figure out their motives and determine the best way to stop them, maybe, I mean, I'm not sure. I do know that if you were to leave to take the overnight lightning rail tonight, you could arrive there by 10 a.m. in the morning, giving you the day to plan how you're going to get over there, figure it out. The ball is due to start at 6 o'clock in the evening and conclude with fireworks at midnight. Now, I warn you against killing or exposing the spy before identifying their mission, as that will just make someone take their place that we are not aware of. And I also do want to warn you that my interpretations of the draconic prophecy are just really educated guesses, and the prophecy is notorious for confounding expectations. Nothing is ever quite as it seems. So please, be aware of this.
What were the relish and are those the countries that were just at war that caused all this bad stuff? Or
No. Give me a history check, please. It's very hard for you to really like, there's so many names to so many different places, and but the one thing you do know is that the war was going on throughout the continent of and like
it wasn't just 2 countries,
no,
it was
it
the whole
was
thing.
there was 5 countries total. Yeah. So there was much more in the giant war than just the so you know that the majority of what the Mournland was the area known as Cry, Cyre. That is one of the 5 nations that formed the heart of the continent. Breland and Thrain are 2 more of the 5. Yeah. So, I will say, even with that history check, like you're from here, you know the 5 nations, but yeah.
Does the Dog of War, like, do we know of a famous soldier that carried that?
Nothing sounds familiar. No. No. There's not specifically anyone that went by that moniker.
It wasn't like a automaton or a device of war?
Not that you were aware of. Nope. It's not quite as popular as the Oracle. Now, seeing all of you and, understanding all of this, Flamewind says, now, I know that you are putting yourselves at risk in doing this, and I know that it comes at great risk, but also great reward. And upon completing your mission, if you can identify this spy or not, please come back and I will have a reward for you.
I guess we're getting on a train, eh?
Agreed.
You do know that Z is still within town with you, and she said that she will go with you again if you need her. So, your paladin friend is still with you if you so desire her assistance. Okay. So is there anything that you want to do within Sharn before you get on the late overnight train to Wart?
Nothing that immediately comes to mind for me.
But I find shift sleeve clothing.
Can you find what?
Shift sleeve clothing.
Sure. Sure you can. Sure you can. Okay. Alright. Anybody else have anything else that you want to acquire for this trip or whatnot?
I'm good.
Okay.
I'm good as well.
Grievous wants to dress like a spy.
Okay. can totally do that. I'm not quite sure what that means for you, but you can acquire clothing where you feel like you are dressed as a spy.
Look in Discord.
Oh, okay. Perfect. I like it. Okay. So, okay. All right. Okay. So, you can totally do that. You look like that. Perfect. That works. All right. I don't remember off the top of my head how much it is. It's common. Okay. Roll me a D100. We'll let the dice decide. Oh, you get some really nice set of clothing for 98 gold. I don't know, can you?
It doesn't say anything about armor, so I don't know if I can.
I think so. Yes, I'm good with that. Yep. Yeah, so you find you some shift weave clothing, and yeah. Okay. So you've got some clothing choices. You've got some. All right, that works. I like it. Okay, so let's see here. With that being said, with no other purchases needing to be made, you head to the train station to get on the overnight. It's the midnight train to Georgia. Come on, can't not say it. It's the overnight train. And you head. Let's see. You head out, and okay. Everybody should be at full health by this point. Let's see. Midnight train going. I mean, somewhere. It's going somewhere. All right. And if it's going where you need it to go, that could be a whole other story. But no, you figure out the right one where you need to go. Okay, there we go. And let me get you to the super cool. There is train artwork for this lightning rail. All right, there we go. The overnight train to Wart sweeps out of Sharn and into the Brelish countryside. Moving through the train to your compartment, you enter a very busy dining carriage. A gaggle of nobles and the like relax under the weight of ever-bright lanterns, swapping stories and sipping wine. A young man dressed in white and gold finery leans against the bar. Everybody give me a perception check, please. You guys are kind of coming through this carriage headed towards the back. Okay. All right. In doing so, you guys all, I mean, in your best spy gear situation, you're paying attention to everybody as you're going, and this young man catches your attention, and you overhear him say, "The annual Armistice Ball is sure to be a delight this year," he proclaims. A veritable who's who of Breland's finest. And you see he turns to the carriage and says, "So, who here's going?" And it is clear that this guy is definitely someone important from the response that he gets. So you see, he's kind of over here in the the bar area of this train car, and he's just kind of hanging out. He's got a drink in his hand. What are you guys doing?
I suppose I'm gonna go get myself a drink. Hey, where's the bar?
So, here. There. Yep. And why does it keep putting you at that? I don't know why it does that. Alright. So,
I hope I'm at level 3.
no. It's one of those things that it keeps doing, and it's annoying. Alright, so, okay. So you head over to the bar.
Is this boy at the bar? This
He
person?
is, yes.
Okay. I will head towards the bar then.
Okay. Yeah, you see he's young man dressed fairly well, kind of leaning against the bar. By the way, this train is totally and completely not actually like the size that the tokens work with, but it works for right now. All right. So you see like he's talking to some others and kind of just sharing, and he sees you two walk up and he's like, "Well, I haven't seen you before. What can I do for you?"
Well, young man, I come from a strange land and I wish to attend this ball you speak of.
You come from a strange land. You look like you come from here.
Well, I do, but the place I come from is mostly inhabited by goblins, and I am their representative.
You represent... Huh. I can't say that I've ever seen a automaton represent goblins before.
Automaton? Good sir, I have a mind of my own. My master does not control me. I have no master.
Give me a persuasion check, please.
Oh, for
Okay, that's not bad. 13's not bad. Okay. As you are talking about this, he kind of goes, "Huh, interesting. Interesting. And where are you from, my friend?"
Well, let me describe it to you. It is a wondrous land where I educate the children.
Okay.
And he talks about it,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
that it's full of other things, that there are other animated items there, but nothing with my brains.
Interesting. Interesting. Well, I am sure that our king would be quite intrigued. But I can't say that you would fit into this amnesty ball. It's always attended by many dignitaries from the royal court. Unfortunately, this year the king is unable to attend due to some pressing governmental business. Well, are you by chance a veteran of the last war?
I regret to inform you that my memories were lost, but I believe that is the case. As you can see, I am an assemblage of motley parts.
Well,
And I'm the benefactor who found me, good Lord Gux Colic. Let's say he resurrected me.
interesting. Well, that would mean that you probably do not have papers proving that you were a ranking officer then. As if you are not nobility, then veterans are allowed to come but only as long as they were ranking officers.
There is a good chance that I was of some importance. Unfortunately, my past is lost.
If I may, while
Yes.
dances and balls are entertaining in and of themselves, the entertainment does not often last throughout the evening. And for what my friend here might lack in official documentation, he more than makes up for with entertaining stories of past history. Guaranteed to entertain.
I understand. I know that there are already quite the entertainment already set in place for such a event.
Perhaps,
would've-
but tell me,
I wish I would have known prior. Perhaps I could have used my persuasion to get you in to be a performer. You said your friend here, is he with you?
he is. He does make these long journeys just a little less tiresome.
Interesting. And are you nobility then, sir?
Well, I can't claim to have an illustrious family line, but its roots go deep.
Interesting. And your intention... Well, with so many guests attending, security is always quite tight, and I mean, it is quite difficult to get anyone who is not already on the guest list onto the ship itself.
But surely a young lord such as yourself would not have trouble squeezing but one more poor soul onto your list.
You see, he kind of looks at you, he looks at Krebus, looks back at you, and he says, and which fine soul are you referring?
My automated friend here, of course. I mean, I can always provide a little extra security if you so desire.
Well, You see, like, you have his attention. And he seems to kind of be considering it. And he kind of turns to Krebus and he says, now, if I were to have you join me, what, other than your storytelling, what other services might benefit such a lord as myself with your attendance to join me? Okay. Nice. Alright, so you bring out your musical instrument and start performing. Okay.
He's proficient in drums, but he does also play the dulcimer, which is more adequate, more than appropriate for this company.
It would.
Allow me to ask, young lord, have you ever seen a creature quite like Krebus?
I cannot say I have, no.
Would it not benefit the young lord to have discovered such fine talent and just in time for this ball?
Oh, I'm sure that my cousin Lord Connor would greatly appreciate me bringing such a fine specimen as this with me. I'm sure of it. Actually, Krebus, Dorian, and Cinder Striker, give me a history check, please.
Okay. I'm going to use my Jack of all trades here to add
Okay.
half my proficiency bonus to this since I'm not
Sure.
my proficiency bonus.
Okay.
It's just 1 to that.
Okay. So, the three of you, overhearing this, Cinder Striker and Krebus, you know that Lord Connor is the governor of Wart, where you are headed. So it is clear that this young man is the cousin of the governor of the area you are going into. So, yeah. It seems that perhaps he is as well connected as he seems to be. Arthur, Cinder Striker, please give me a insight check. As I'm assuming the two of you are watching the people around the area.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was just gonna kind of sit in the corner and play the old man role of asleep, but not actually sleep.
Well, then you know what, Arthur? Give me another roll. We will give you advantage for portraying the old man in the corner.
And I'm doing my default,
Perfect.
sulking in the shadows.
Mm-hmm. Alright, so, Arthur, you don't pick it up, but Cinder Striker, you catch this. There's two figures here within the dining carriage, that seem to be, kind of watching the interaction between Krebus, Dorian, and, this young lord, which you guys now know as Jovi, Irgracian. That is his name. It is a weird spelling, so we're gonna go with it. But, yeah, that is the young gentleman's name.
Does he like smiling? Is smiling his favorite?
I mean, it's not. His favorite thing happens to actually be croquet, ballroom dancing, fencing, and drinking. But his motivation is to make influential friends and then impress them. So, I mean, hey, maybe. And so, Cinder Striker, you notice these two figures that seem to be watching this interaction. It's a pair of what look to be half-elven men, kind of bald, one dressed in red, the other in black. But they seem to be quite aware of Krebus and Dorian. And kind of seem to, where all of the other people in this dining car seem to be just having a good time and moving around and doing stuff, they actually kind of remind you of you guys. Where you're on the lookout, you're kind of, trying to be aware of your surroundings, and the like. So you do
So I
clock
get
these.
a feeling that they're, like, a danger to us? That they could potentially,
Maybe.
make stuff go down like we can?
Yes.
Yeah, I'll just keep an eye on them while not looking like I'm keeping an eye on them.
Okay. Alright. So, alright. So, Krebus, you score an invite to join Jovi tomorrow.
I'll bow gratefully. Thank you so very much, your great lord.
Okay. So, without too much other issue, you're able to. You guys have your own like overnight room compartment. Yeah, that's the word. And the overnight lightning rail from Sharn glides into the wart on a glorious morning at 10 a.m. The capital of Breland sprawls over opposing banks of the Howling River with tall, arching bridges spanning the river between. In the center of the city, a half-mile-high edifice of Broken Blade Castle rises from an artificial island in the river. Now, overall, the capital of Breland is smaller than Sharn, but impressive in its own right. It is clear that wealth seems to flow from its docks, as even just getting off the lightning rail, you can tell from the look of everybody that there's money to be had. There's, markets are probably well off. And
I would have told everyone what I noticed about those people left.
And what did you notice about those people?
They're assassins.
Okay.
Ooh.
I'll probably just remember what they look like and keep an eye out.
Everybody watch.
Okay. So, as you arrive here, let's see if it has, I don't know that it does. Okay. Let's see. So as you get off of the boat here, let's see. I don't think so. Nope. Okay. Gives a lecture about where assassins got their names from. Warns the party about the dangers of hashish. Okay.
Hashish, yes, the
Hashish.
assassin. It's hashashin.
Okay.
They would smoke hashish,
Oh, okay. Okay. Sure.
That's where assassin comes. Hash.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good to know. All right.
Tonight's not the night you have to worry about people doing that. That's tomorrow.
True facts. All right. All right. So here is what Breland looks like.
Oh.
It's really pretty.
It's like an iron.
It does. Very much looks like a clothing iron, right? All right. So, as you arrive here at the Howling River, where the river that runs through is called the Howling River. It is very easy to spot the grand galleon built from dark oak with bright crimson sails bobbing gently on the riverside. On the deck, you see servants wearing red uniforms lined with gold thread, seem to be decorating the ship with lanterns and pennants bearing the coats of arms of the 5 nations. The fabric itself waves in the wind and glints in the shimmering threads catches the sunlight. On the side of the vessel, the name Monolith is painted in golden calligraphy. Now, at the foot of the gangplank, there are 4 knights that stand guard, only moving aside to let the servants board or leave the ship. So, there is that.
That's the whole city, just that one thing?
That is the main, yes. Much like Sharn was a super tall but wide, this is mostly enclosed. Yes. So there is so you catch that there's servants that are busy setting up the ship. There's
I want to try and get a super good look at their uniforms.
Okay. You catch that there's 4 of them are female, 6 of them male. And give me a first perception, then investigation. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Between those 2 rolls, you are able to gather enough to do what you need to do. Yes. In that time period that you were there, Cinder Striker, I will say you, in fact, can overhear that the servants walking back and forth, they seem to be going to a nearby warehouse to get supplies, such as decorations and refreshments and whatnot. So it's fairly easy to follow and get close enough for you to pick up on their outfits. There is, in fact, a dockside warehouse that is not too far from the actual ship. That seems to be where they are going in and out of. It's a large, like, freight entrance, wide enough for a cart to trundle through, and then there's a door at the back. Yeah. So, is anyone doing anything prior to trying to get anything done before you go into, say, the trying to get on the ship?
Just changing my clothes.
Okay.
I look like what they have on. My magic clothes.
Okay. Now the city of Wart, Rot, I guess it would. Yeah, probably WROAT. Rot probably is how they're wanting you to do it. Built on both sides of the Howling River at a point where the river widens. This is the ancestral seat of the rulers of Breland. Seduces visitors with its tree-lined avenues, elegant drawbridges, cleanliness, and laid-back atmosphere. Perched on the rocky island in the middle of the river, surrounded by military docks and barracks, is the Broken Blade Castle, the King's Stern Fortress. So that is the fortress that you see in the picture.
Okay.
Yes.
I just thought it looked really tiny to be
No,
a
that's
fort
just the
town.
fortress. Yeah, so, let's see here. Okay. So that is that. Is anybody doing anything?
Is there any likelihood I can dig up a relatively cheap piece of armor that doesn't go clank 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 when I try to
Yeah?
walk? Yeah. Like breastplates 400, if I could find a dinged up one for 350,
You could.
I would like to do that.
You can totally do that.
And now, so everybody knows, I am broke.
Okay.
Might I find some studded leather?
You can.
I forget how much that costs.
There's a handout.
There's a handout for that. I just don't.
I was just on it, actually. Studded letters 45.
There you go.
So,
See, it's like the Dungeon Master made a handout for that or something.
So easy.
Good job, past Dungeon Master. All right.
So to go with the outfit that I'm now wearing, I also make myself look supremely forgettable. Like, you're not going to notice me at all.
Okay. Okay.
Well, dressing my Sunday best.
I'm gonna still rock that pink outfit that I had.
Nice. Okay. Just because I don't want to have to go back and do this, Cinder Striker, give me a deception check at advantage, please. Okay, you pass as one of the employees.
I'm gonna roll so bad tomorrow.
So bad tomorrow. Okay. Alright, so, okay. Alright. So, let's see here. For the purposes of this, alright, so we've got Cinder Striker going on as staff. Let's see here. We've got Krebus going on with the low noble. Okay. Dorian, are you just gonna try to go on to the ship as yourself? Or what is the plan?
I can try to blend in with the other lords and ladies and the like.
Okay. That is your plan. All right. Okay.
And now that I don't clank, I'll cast invisibility on myself before getting ready to go to try and sneak by.
Okay. I will say that one of the things that you did learn from the nobleman was that casting spells on the ship is not allowed.
But if I cast beforehand?
Yes, so just a fair warning.
Good to know.
I will, when Arthur does that, when we're getting ready to go onto the ship proper, I'll make sure I'm carrying something and kind of lag behind or something to make sure there's room for him to walk between me and somebody else.
Okay.
So he doesn't run into somebody stopping short or something.
Okay. Alright. You can do that.
The thing we need is for him to burn a spell slot and then somebody smack into him.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Knock me into the water or something.
Uh-huh. Okay. Alright, so give me a stealth check with advantage there, Mr. Arthur. Okay. Alright, and, okay. So, now, Dorian, that brings us to you. Now, here's the thing. Okay, okay, you're casting aid on who, Krebus?
Yeah, before parting, so what are the different people? So we've got, Cinder is pretending to be an employee?
Correct.
Okay, so maybe on Cinder.
Okay.
And then, how many different directions are we going?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
I want to point out that Bob keeps making characters that are supposed to help their party by being close to their party, and then his party keeps leaving in opposite directions.
Well, no, I just mean I would try to do this before we separated.
I
know,
but it's just funny because it's like, hey, you're supposed to be within 30 feet of me so I can help you, and you're like 20,000 feet the other direction.
Oh my gosh, I want to tell you, man.
Help us, help you. We need to help us, not just wander off.
I'm like, okay, so I can move there and I can get half the party, or move there and get 25% of the party. It's a pain.
One of the
so
drawbacks to being a support character. Yep.
Sure.
Okay.
So who's going where? So I guess.
So you.
Cinder Striker, me, and or does that have to be one of my allies? Can it be myself?
It can be yourself. Yep. It can totally be yourself.
And then maybe Arthur. Is Arthur going a separate direction? Is he trying to get on the ship with us?
He is.
So me, Arthur, and Cinderstrike.
Okay.
Seems legit.
Sure. That sounds good.
I got sending stones from the last time.
Okay.
Would I have access to those already?
You
they
would.
Were the reward. Okay, I need to give one to somebody. I don't know who that's what I have.
You know what? I think I saved that as well.
Okay. You can
Yeah, I did.
multiple sets of sending stones.
Okay, cool. I feel like Krebus should have one because he's going to be like in the most exposed and potentially in danger. I think I'll give him the other half of mine.
Okay.
And before I go on there, I'm going to cast tongues on my.
Okay.
Before I get on the ship.
Okay. All right. All right. So, okay. Anybody else doing anything else before you head towards the ship? No? Okay.
Well, my plan is just to wander around with a tray or whatever as an employee and just drop on people and stuff.
All right. So I will say in your one of the first things that you did notice is that the about an hour or so before the ball starts, the knights that were guarding the gangplank were switched out for 6 fresh knights. All right, and let's see here. So all right. So there was only 4 in the afternoon, but there is now 6 on the main deck or on the main gangplank. All right. So let's go ahead and I'm going to switch that, and I'm going to switch you guys to the ship. All right. So the ship here, this is the top view of the ship. So this is the all right. So as you are approaching the ship, you see that there are the 6 knights. The main deck itself is swathed with military banners and pennants commemorating the various regiments that fought in the last war. Servants, much as you see Cinderstriker go, they are busy here throughout the day putting up the banners and making. But during the ball, this is where you are serving refreshments and you mill around, and there is a band up here on the forecastle. The west side of the ship is draped in rigging from its bulwarks down to the waterline. Normally, this is used so that people can climb aboard from rowboats, but in celebration of the ball, the rigging has been decorated with arcane lamps glowing in shifting hues of color. And because they gave this to me, and so I did it, and so I'm so excited about this. The next level down, you find the service cabins under the forecastle are used by the servants to prepare food and whatnot, so you are well aware that that is where that is. All right. The rear stores, those back here, spare coils of rope, cleaning gear, that whatnot. Back here is the captain's quarters. All right, and then because this is fun and I'm super excited, things I learned from doing a con online. Then there's the hold. normally used to store food and good and whatnot. Okay. As well as the officers' cabins and the galley. All right. So, now you know what the ship looks like. We're back here to the top. All right. So you've got main deck, you've got forecastle, and this is where like most of the people are like around for the party itself. All right. So we've got Cinder Striker is milling around. We've got Arthur, who is invisible. Arthur, which kind of invisibility did you put on, by the way?
It's the invisibility spell.
Okay, so you're invisible for an hour.
For an hour, yeah. So before that hour is up, I'd like to find a little hidey hole where I can go poof without, raising up.
All right. Krebus, you see, you had made arrangements with Jovi to enter the ship at the same time, meet prior to, and you are able to come onto the ship itself with him.
Okay.
So you are on there. Now, Dorian, that brings us to you. As a well-dressed gentleman, you get up to you're on the gangplank, come to the edge of the gangplank with the knights, and you see that they are asking each of the nobles for proof of nobility, such as a scroll of prestige. What are you gonna do?
Oh, you should have had me act as your herald.
Or something.
Yeah, I suppose. Well, would this have been something I would have known about prior to coming here?
You were told, yeah, on the train, you found out that people had to prove that they were nobles to get on the thing.
I suppose I tried to forge something.
Okay. Do you have a forgery kit?
That's a thing.
It is a thing.
I could work that up for you. If we well, I could have.
You could.
I have the right tool for the job, so I can make any artisan's tools. If I have any more.
You could tinker the appropriate.
Oh yeah, I could do that as well.
To appear.
I can have 25 words on a piece of paper.
I suppose doing that then.
It's up to you.
How busy is the gangplank look?
It is busy, but they are checking every single person for a scroll of prestige or for some way for them to prove that they are of a noble line.
I suppose I'm trying to forge something ahead of time.
Okay. All right. So.
Well, I know of rich people. I feel like that would be insulting.
What?
Well, I'm from the.
What was that?
I feel like that would be insulting. Don't you know who I am? Why do I have to show you?
Because the knights don't know, so they don't. It's just how it works.
Yeah, but nobility is, don't you know who I am? Well, if you don't know, you should have known, and I'm gonna get you fired.
Dragon mark does not count. As just, you have to have that scroll of prestige or somehow prove that you are of a noble line. Not just a member of one of the Dragon mark houses. Okay, so, well, if you are going to, so, Arthur, are you going to turn your artisan tool to a forgery kit tool, or?
I think I would tinker because that saves a roll, I think, because it's just magic text as fancy as we want it to be. So just all I need is a plain piece of paper,
Okay.
or a nice piece of paper, I guess. And then let's see. I'll put it in the chat.
Then I would like for you to roll me a dexterity check, please. A tinkering check, please.
Tinker's tools or just a straight dex?
Tinkerer's tools, if that's how you are doing it.
What's Z doing?
Z is on the watch. She's watching your butt on the shoreline because she's not sure you guys are going to get onto the ship. And she is really, really apparent. So she's like, there's no way I can sneak on. Okay. I want to point out that second roll really sucks.
It does.
All right. So, okay.
Do I need to make my own?
Nope,
soup,
you're
or-
good, Coop. You're good. Okay. All right. By the way, hi, Cooper.
Hey, the movie was okay.
Okay, good. All right. So, hey, Arthur.
Yeah.
The DC was 15. I was
It
like,
just says Lord of, and then it just smeared.
no, you're good. It wasn't at disadvantage, so you were good. You're good.
Well, it's thieves. For some reason, it rolled as thieves the first time.
Oh, okay. Okay, I see it.
But that uses dex and stuff too.
It's still, yeah, it's still the same, same bonuses. So I will let you use the first one because the second one sucks.
Right.
We'll call that your Ashy advantage for today.
That's
for
fine.
the Ashy gotcha day.
Oh, I have tons of hero points. I could throw one of those on there too, just for fun.
No, we're good. We're good. Oh, he's gonna do it anyway. All right, perfect.
20.
20. All right. It's.
I want to take a picture of him, but I don't know where I left my phone.
Okay. So with that, you are able, Dorian, to get on to the ship. Now, hey Joe. They are on a super fancy ship that is nobles only. You know that Arthur did do a letter of nobility for Dorian to get on. Cinder Striker is currently a staff member, shifted into the super cool clothing that they got, helped to change their clothing to the servants. Arthur is going invisible. Krebus has made friends with a lower noble so that he can actually be on the ship himself as a guest of Jovi. So, my friend, what are you doing to get onto the ship? You're looking for a spy, by the way, but not confronting the spy. But Flame, the Sphinx has convinced that there will be a spy on the ship, and that said spy is intricate in a war being started between two of the 5 people. So what are you doing? How are you getting onto the ship, or what are you doing to help with this? I know that was a lot of information. So Cinder Striker has aid. Arthur has aid, correct? And then Krebus, did you put it on yourself, or who did you put it on? Himself, okay.
It's on myself.
Okay.
And Arthur and Cinderstriker.
I will say, for the purposes of this, Sir is with Z. Because that would be an obvious giveaway. Unless you want to put Sir into a pocket dimension.
Well, but if Sir belongs to Krebus, why wouldn't he have... He's an invited guest. He can bring his familiar.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, that might be Kribus doesn't like Sir, as in, like, he keeps telling him to go away. So.
Yeah, and Sir doesn't listen, so what makes Sir listen this time?
That's true. That's true. Okay. Alright. So, okay. Alright. So, okay, what are you doing? So is Sir with you then?
Yeah, he'll be with me.
Okay. Alright. So, Joe.
Trying to get one of our healers nearby.
Right. So, Joe, what are you doing? Did we lose Cooper? No, he's still on the call. Okay, well, we will figure that out when Cooper figures out what he is going to do with that. All right. So you are able to get on, Dorian. Okay. Okay. So with that, okay, so as the dim twilight falls over the deck, the shadows deepened by the arcane lights tied to the ship resting near the waterside. The metallic thread woven into the ship's crimson sails glitters as the lights cast their glow over it. On the docks, dozens of well-dressed guests exchange pleasantries as they wait in line to board the ship, where the ball seems to, at this point, be in full swing. And I am not putting everybody on the ship because it's just not going to happen. Imagine there's a bunch of people on the ship, okay? For you, Cinder Striker, there are a total of 20 servants working tonight. You are one of 20. Most can be seen on the deck attending to guests and serving them. There are, every once in a great while you will see people, the servants leaving the ship to go get more stuff at the warehouse and then coming back. But most of the time they are, in fact, within the ship itself.
Do I get the feeling that, like, it would be suspicious if anybody besides a servant went below deck?
Yes. With the exception of, it is very easy to spot the actual crew of the ship itself, like the captain and the officers. But other than that, yeah, it would be weird. But you notice that bright lights and pleasant music emanate from the deck of the ship. From the masts and rigging above, colored lights engulf the scene in a calm, prismatic glow. The guests mill around the deck, dressed in fine clothes and jewelry. Most seem engrossed in conversation or to listening to the band perform at the front of the ship. It is fairly obvious, as you are milling around the ship as well, there is a full band up here at the forecastle. There is a female gnome holding a conductor's baton, controlling a quartet of mechanical creatures, all holding different instruments. The constructs are shaped like farm animals, stood on their hind legs, and are dressed in military uniforms. There's a dog playing a flute, a horse playing a drum, a pig playing a lute, and a cow playing the viola. Now, they do play kind of a jaunty tune, but it's also kind of weird, because it is, farm animals. So yeah, it's quite interesting.
Rich people are weird.
They are. Agreed. All right. Yeah. Okay. So, just for reference, as you're kind of wandering around, you see a female human wearing like very nice mage robes, kind of wandering around through the ship itself. You notice that she actually is one of those that is allowed to go down below decks, as she periodically seems to be wandering the ship, watching. I will say, Cinder Striker, you can like very carefully ask one of the other servants because you don't know who this person is, but she is dubbed as Nancy of Xandria. She is one of the king's wizards, and she is to ensure that no magic is done that is not supposed to be done here. Let's see here. You also, let's see. You know what? Joe, how did you get on? How'd you get on the ship?
I did not. Did I move it?
I'm just saying, like, how were you? Are you making yourself a scroll of nobility? How are you getting on the ship?
That's what I did. Do I need to make one?
If you're gonna make a scroll of nobility, I need a dexterity check with whatever tools you're gonna use to make it.
Okay.
Because I know you were an artificer as well, so you could technically do the same thing that Arthur did.
Hopefully better.
I mean, I'm not saying that, but I'm not disagreeing with you. Otherwise,
I'm not saying it, but I'm not saying it.
Right. Otherwise, if you have another way for you to get onto the ship, you can.
I mean, there's plenty of ways with potions and stuff.
It's up to you. What are you gonna do? How are you gonna get on the ship? It's very important that you tell me how you got on the ship because it does influence what happens while on the ship.
Well, if I wanted to know that I need something to prove nobility, I will try the same thing.
Okay, if you're gonna try to prove nobility?
I'm gonna try.
Okay. Good luck. I need a DC 15.
Alright. Hey Susan.
Uh-huh.
Well, this is a new day, right?
It is a new day.
I'm gonna try the potion of the day. See what I get.
Okay. Swiftness. Walking speed increases by 10 feet for an hour. Okay.
Alright. Well, here goes nothing.
Uh-huh.
Great, if you get caught, you could super run away.
He can super run away. All right.
And I'll add a heal point to that.
I was gonna say, gonna add a hero point to that because you probably should. Okay. All right. Yep. You can get on the ship with no problem. So, all right. Well, since you are the last one to board the ship of your party, I would really like, let's see here. Dorian, please roll me a d6. 6. Okay. Okay. So, here's the thing. Dorian, a staggering half-elf bumps into you, spilling wine on your clothes. What do you do?
I suppose I should shoot him, but I won't. For a gentleman must always uphold his composure. Was he
He is
Was this-
clearly already drunk, and he is clearly younger nobility there to just be as a party member.
Did he make a beeline towards me during his drunken stumble, or was it?
It was a very staggered thing. Didn't look like it was intentional.
I suppose, given my background, I should do a subtle feel around to make sure he didn't try to pickpocket me.
Okay. Give me a perception check. Choose one item off your character sheet that is no longer on your pocket. What did he take?
Was he actually trying to?
He was.
What would be? He definitely wouldn't get that. If he took that, I'd shoot him.
Unless he took your gun, then you couldn't shoot him.
I'm not carrying a whole lot. What is a mess kit?
It is literally your knife, fork, spoon, bowl, that kind of stuff.
Oh, that doesn't sound fun. I suppose he could take, well, it's a water skin. I suppose for flavor, I'd have it in a flask. He
Okay.
can have that, I suppose.
Alright, so you are missing your flask now. Okay.
Am I aware of the fact he just
You
picked
are
off?
aware that it is gone, and as you turn to look for him, you do not see him in the crowd.
Did I notice this?
Give me a perception check. Nope.
So,
I would say you're probably across the ship.
because
You
I
can be
can,
on the lookout for him if you would like. You saw what he looked like.
well, because I can do this, being of the house and all, I will take another sip of my wine. And
Was that wine the one that was in the flask?
no, this is
Okay.
one I'm sure they're serving on the ship.
No, it is. I'm just checking. Okay. You can, in fact, do that. And it pings across the ship. You can follow it. It points right to the kid.
And I will enjoy my beverage while subtly making my way over,
Okay.
following the ping.
Okay.
Is this half elven man changed shape, or is he still?
Nope, he's
Half
still a
elven.
half-elven man.
I now have a rather large stain on my suit.
You do.
But I suppose I shall take out a handkerchief and approach.
Okay. You see that he is standing fairly close by where Jovi is. As you see he wears a very colorful low-cut tunic, done his dark hair up in a very complicated style. The kid wears gold bands on his arms and gold rings in his ears. And he is standing by what looks to be a very important gentleman.
Jovi.
Jovi, but also some other very important people.
More important than Jovi.
More important than Jovi. And so are you walking up towards them?
No, I will keep my distance, but I will be watching the young boy as well as the others he's with.
Okay. You also see that he seems to there's a girl that looks very similar to him, could be perhaps his sister. So half elf female, like very gender fluid features, dark hair tied into a braid, silver rings in her ears, dark, kind of a shirt decorated with silver thread. And Krebus, you would recognize them based on the introduction by Jovi as his niece, his cousin, Caesarea, and her brother, Tybalt. They are the eldest son and daughter of Lord Conor.
Okay.
So, and Lord Conor is standing right there with you as well. He is the governor of the area.
Governor of Breland, or
yeah, the governor of this area. So while that is all going on, Joe, give me a D6, please.
Just a straight D6.
Just a straight D6. These are things that are happening while all of this is going on. All right.
4.
So Joe, you notice that there is some like entertainment other than the band that's going on, and you see this halfling entertainer pulls a string of colorful handkerchiefs from his sleeve. He takes a deck of playing cards from his pocket and encourages you to pick a card, any card.
Okay, sure. I like games.
So you pull a card. He says, "Okay, now memorize your card. Okay. When you feel like you're comfortable with it, slide it back in the deck."
What card did I get?
I don't know. Choose a card.
Thank you, DM.
So, although it looked really good when he was pulling the sleeves out, he doesn't look super competent. So, like with his card trick, and so he, as you put the card back in, he shuffles the deck. And then he proceeds to be that really terrible magician that goes, "Is this your card? No. Is this your card? No. Is this your card? No. Oh. How about this one? Is this your card?" Yeah, he has no idea what your card was.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
He's not good at his job. Somehow he got on here, but he's not good at his job. All right. Let's see here. And with that, okay. So, let's see here. Hold on one second. I've got...
Somebody should have checked his credentials before letting him on the boat.
Right? Oops. Okay. Arthur, give me a perception check, please. Okay.
Garbage tonight.
Garbage, indeed. Arthur, I would like for you to please give me a wisdom saving throw. As you are just kind of watching and listening and paying attention. Okay.
Balls.
That was false. Okay. As you are kind of watching and looking around and just kind of trying to pay attention to everybody around you, you feel somebody enter your mind. Somebody kind of push in a little bit farther. Before all of a sudden, the rest of you, being aware that he was invisible, see Arthur appear out of nowhere. He is no longer invisible. As you turn and look, you see the Archmage, Nancy, looking directly at you, Arthur. And she does the whole, before just standing and watching you. Watching to see what you're going to do.
I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to just stand there, and if a waiter walks by, I will grab a drink and toast her.
Okay. It seems that she may or may not have randomly been casting Detect Magic on the guests. If you don't move, she can't see you, but we can hear you, though. So, Cinder Striker, roll me a d6, please.
Also, I will have brought him a drink after.
Of course you did. All right, perfect. All right. All right. And it is as you give them a drink, Arthur, you see this male dwarf grabs a hold of your arm, not like mean-wise, but he just kind of almost oh my god, and he says, I don't recall seeing your face here before. New voices often have more interesting things to say. Might you enlighten us with your opinion about the war? And you seem to have found someone who just wants to talk to you, and you are able to kind of blend into the rest of the party. Thanks to Cinder bringing you a drink and making no strange movements, and this dwarven gentleman finding someone new to talk to.
Perfect. I will regale him with tales of when I worked for House Kenneth building.
There you go. All right. So amongst the people that are here on this ship, the ones that are of kind of a little more note than some of the others, you have found the brother and sister team that the son and daughter of the governor. There is also the aged Minister of War, a copper dragonborn, well liked seemingly by the attendants of the ball. Balthazar is his name. And just from everybody kind of wandering around and looking around, it's clear this is a guy that has been around for a long time. Everybody really seems to like him. He's kind-hearted, got some kind words to say about, his copper scales have a gray-green edges, signifying that he is fairly elderly. But he does wear some very long robes decorated with intricate designs. You've got, and you notice that the sister of or the daughter of the governor seems to almost treat this guy as kind of an uncle figure, where she kind of makes sure that he's got a drink in his hand, and she's just having a good time taking care of him, making sure he gets a seat if he needs to or whatnot. Let's see here. You also see there is Lyra, or Keenly, is kind of an elderly matriarch of a halfling family of wine merchants. She, on the opposite end of the spectrum of this dragonborn, is the matriarch over in the corner that just glares at anybody who comes anywhere near them, and grumbles to herself about the lack of tact amongst young members of nobility. Yeah. So then there's...
As I'm sure she's grumbling loud enough for the people she's talking about to hear.
Oh, hell yeah, she is.
Because that's so tactful.
So tactful. Yes. And, like, I would say, Cinder Striker, you going around, you come close enough to her that there's been times when people seem to have tried to approach her and try to, like, earn her patience, that have failed so spectacularly that she quickly makes it obvious that she has little interest in talking and more interest in people watching. And you actually overhear her say, "I don't trust that girl, Merkitia. She's too frilly. She's too uppity. The war lies like a shadow over the city and she just wants to laugh at it. There's something off about her, just like that feller Oliver. They keep exchanging looks and I pray it's nothing more than a tact love affair." Tacit love affair, yeah. Speaking of Oliver, yeah, that is another, like, half-elven guy, seems to, kind of be fairly close to, well, it's kind of bounces between Marketia and, the daughter of the governor, Sestria. Like, it kind of going back and forth. It seems like you catch the looks going both directions. Marketia is the youngest daughter of the Speaker of the Brelish Parliament. And she's, yeah, very much gives off the air of the ditzy noble. Not sure if that is true or not, but that is just as a glance, that is what you guys pick up. And then, of course, you have the eldest son, Tybalt. All right. So, during all of this, those are like the nobles you guys kind of immediately, like, pin as people of interest. But it's about, I want to say, like 45 minutes to an hour in, when the crowd falls silent as Tybalt steps up onto the forecastle of the ship and proceeds to recite a 10-minute poetry reading of a renowned elven war poet, and it is entitled "When the Sky Burns." I would like for everybody to give me a perception check, please. Okay. All right. Joe, you got a perception check for me? There we go. All right. Krebus, it is kind of fitting that you are the one who notices this. You notice that while Tybalt is giving this speech, his sister seems to slip away and head downstairs.
Okay. I have no means of telling anybody this.
Who'd you give your sending stone to, Cinder?
I gave it to Krebus for like an emergency.
Oh, you did?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I figured you were the one that was most
I mean, either, yeah, and I'll give mine to Dorian, and then that way, you know, Joe wasn't there at the time.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So how do I use the sendings?
So, you would, like, it's kind of walkie-talkie-esque. You would take the stone out and just kind of whisper into it. It is a 25-word sentence, in essence.
All right. I will pretend that I'm like talking to myself at first.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll have the stone like hit it in my hand and put my hand up close to my mouth and say that Asaria, the sister of Asaria, the sister of the poet,
right. Just
and
say
daughter
what you're
of the
gonna do.
Lord.
It's all good. We don't have to. You don't have to count it. It's fine.
Okay, so I'll just say that she's the sister of the poet, the daughter of the Lord, and that she just slipped down, or down below deck.
Okay. Cinder Striker, do you follow?
Yeah.
Okay. You see that as you get down there, and like you can play it off, you're going down to, get more supplies or whatever. You see her leaving the captain's quarters very quickly.
Is it like, is she like, I did something bad and I'm running? Did she meet somebody?
So, you don't see anybody else. Dorian, the person who stole your flask is up here giving a 10-minute spiel. Yeah. Yeah, you don't see anybody else in the cabin. Like, you kind of watch and you see she goes back upstairs. And it isn't too long after that, Krebus, that she kind of comes back and takes her place just like as if she was never gone.
Okay. I'll relate that she just snuck back.
Okay. You go to do it, and it's a once-a-day sending stone.
Oh, it is?
It
okay,
is.
then I won't.
Yeah, it is.
I would know that then.
Yep, you would. Okay. So what do you do, Cinder?
I'm gonna go look at the door.
Okay, you go look at the door. Door looks just as normal as it did before.
Does it look trapped?
It does not look trapped.
I want to listen at it.
Okay, give me a perception check. You do not hear any sounds from the other side of the door.
Is it locked?
It is not locked.
I would like to sneak in.
Not even a mouse, exactly. Alright, you can go in. I'm assuming you're gonna look to see what she did in here.
Yeah.
Give me an investigation check. As you perform a fairly quick search of this cabin, you discover a hidden letter that she has left in here. And this is what the letter says. The thing with this letter, the contents of the letter seems almost mundane, but there are splashes of red ink marks on this paper. The ink is not red on the writing. So, yes, so it says, Lord Oliver, the shipment routes you suggest are laughable. Surely you must mistake me for my vain sibling and expect me to fly into a fit of rage upon seeing the insult of an offer. Rest assured, I am of far calmer mind than my brother, hence why my father refers to you to me for business instead of him. The routes you offer are assuredly ghastly and out of the question, and that doesn't mean we can't negotiate. I trust your offer was merely a diversion, so I would become more amenable to any future haggling or knowing deception you may attempt. Consider me charmed, attentive, and offended, if not far less agreeable going forward from these dealings. Be warned, though, I am patient. I shall not negotiate forever. I suggest another avenue of moving the wares instead of the path you suggest. Throughout Anandar may be the shorter route. I prefer Tharnish convoys in place of bringing caravans through the sodden marshes of your wretched country. You know as well as... Let's see. Hi. Sorry, I just got walked on over here. Okay.
Wasn't me.
Huh?
It wasn't me.
It wasn't you. Okay. Alright. So, you know as well as I that valuable goods leaving from the towers of Fairhaven are more likely to be damaged, demolished, or stolen than they are to arrive safely in the correct location. Away through the rugged, lesser-known roads southeast of Arnex is going to cost us no small sum, more than offered. Something I'm truthfully not at all interested in. Of course, my lord, that is why the longer way through Thrian would be very much more preferable. If you cannot see this yourself, then you may be more craven than a skyraker's thrush. Contemplate this with all your wisdom, Oliver. I would not be wise to shun my offer. Okay, so you find that letter.
I'm going to take a spare piece of paper
Okay.
that I bought because now I can do the whole invisible writing thing.
Uh-huh.
And I'm going to write down, I'm going to copy that out onto the paper.
Mm-hmm.
And then, can I put my own name on it?
Can you what?
Because with it, I can make it so only one person
Mm-hmm.
can read it. I don't know if I can do that myself.
Okay.
But yeah, then I'll put it back where I found it and leave.
Okay. All right. So as you see, Cinder Striker comes back upstairs. It is with that the brother is done. He gets applause from most of the people. And it's not too long later. We're talking like an hour or so. When Balthazar silences the band and delivers a speech honoring the generals who fought in the last war. As you see, various noble generals are invited to speak about lessons learned from the conflict. Do you have any war heroes? I don't believe so. Don't believe so.
While they're doing that, I will have a pair of drinks. One for myself and one for my soon-to-be new friend, as I will have been waiting for him to exit the stage.
Okay.
I'll say Z's name.
Okay.
So me and her are the only ones who can read it for 24 hours.
Perfect. All right. Okay, so do you go over to him there?
I do.
Okay.
And extend a drink
Well,
to him.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. I appreciate
You're
it.
quite welcome. That's quite a remarkable bit of poetry you spit up there.
Well, it's important to my father that we culture ourselves appropriately.
I agree. Culture is important. I do sense that we might be cut from a similar cloth in that regard.
Interesting. Well, it is quite a varied cloth, so perhaps.
Great. My name is Dorian Gray.
Well, welcome, Dorian. What brings you to our fair area?
Seeing a bit of the sights, wanting to absorb a bit more of the culture from this fair city.
Oh.
I do get up this way so drearily often.
Well. Okay.
But from one gentleman to another, I do thank you for your presentation.
Well, you are more than welcome.
What was his name again?
Tybalt.
Yeah. This is to clarify. This is the one that stole from me, right?
It is. Yes.
Okay. If I might ask one small favor from you, Lord Tybalt.
Oh yes. What may I do for you?
You may return that of which you have pilfered from my pockets. A gentleman may forgive many things, my good sir, but theft of property is not one of them.
Give me a persuasion or intimidation check, please.
They're both the same, but I'm trying to be cordial, so I suppose persuasion.
Okay. He looks at you and he says, "Oh, well, must be my mistake then, for I did not know this was yours." And he hands over your flask.
Trust me when I say, my good sir, that all is forgiven. In a bit of a stupor, I have been known to find things magically appearing in pockets. So think nothing of it.
I'm glad that it was returned to its rightful owner then.
Agreed. And may we carry on and continue to enjoy these fine festivities.
Yes. You do that, and you see, like, he thanks you again for the drink, and he slowly moves away. Okay. All right. So Joe, you have bardic inspiration. What?
Did he seem drunk at all after he was taking it?
Not even a little bit.
That's what I thought.
Gotta get it back because I definitely want to shot him after the fact if he didn't.
Alright, during the reciting of this whole, thing with the military, you see, like, several military people go up, and it's very much you have all of the high-ranking military people regaling you with all of the war stories that you know are very much out of proportion. But everybody give me a perception check, please. I would say with the exception of Dorian, as you were busy with your buddy over there. Okay. Krebus, again, you notice someone that steps away. As you see Olivier has left the main floor of this ship and has ventured down below again.
Okay. I will make some kind of excuse to break away from the party here.
Okay.
From Jovi.
Mm-hmm.
And just when I'm walking by, just like wandering through here, I'll say something to Cinder Striker.
Okay. So, Cinder, you are told that Olivier has gone downstairs. You, knowing what you read, you assume it is probably to go get that letter.
I'm gonna follow.
Okay.
Again, just looking like I'm trying to get
and
more
it
stuff.
is.
And if I have a full tray, I'm going to spill it or something, make it look
Easily enough, you are able to go downstairs to get a refill of your items. And as you get to the bottom of the stairs, you see the door of the captain's cabin opens and Lord Olivier exits with a troubled look on his face. He closes the door, briskly walks away from it, intent on getting back to the party. As he does, he seems to slip a rolled parchment into the breast pocket of his robes.
Does it look familiar?
It does.
I'll just I'll just go back upstairs and
Okay. So do you go back into the captain's cabin, or you think that...
oh, yeah, no, I'm gonna do that here.
Okay.
Anything beyond
Okay, give
him
me
finding that.
another investigation check, and you do also have bardic inspiration from Krebus as he told you about this guy, in case you feel like you need it. Okay. With a 14, you can also find in that same desk drawer a pinned note from Lord Oliver. This one, I must admit, I know very little of your local avian wildlife. Indeed, I am not sure why you'd think that I would know such things. Do I give off that dour aura of a birdwatcher? Am I a master of the ragged ways of wild animals? I assure you, this isn't the case, for birds are lovely things, even if I am not. Though your accusation amuses me, and rightly so, I cannot help but feel dissatisfied, since I cannot abide by your request. You must know, I wish for nothing more than to continue the business between our great houses. To have dealt you upset is a wretched blot on my honor, a stain of shame that would hope to wash off sometime in the near future. But my decision on this matter is final. Your uncle was a fine master when I attended college here in the city. I owe your family a debt of gratitude that I fear I cannot be repaid. Alas, what you ask for of this deal is well beyond my reach. I suppose I must be as cowardly as the skyraker thrush, whatever that is. I hope this message won't be the last word on the matter. I fear it may be. If it is, do know that I have enjoyed our mutual endeavors. Birds or no birds, faithfully yours. You also notice on this letter, there is red marking on this one as well.
I'm gonna do the same thing I did with the other one and copy it down, and
Okay.
including the marks and all, and
Okay.
yeah. So he's leaving it there for her to come back and find, it
Clearly.
seems like?
Yep. Alright, so with that, it is 8 o'clock. Why don't we go ahead and take a quick break, and then we will pick up from here in just a few minutes. Just a reminder, this is our kickoff to our Extra Life Tabletop Weekend. So, yeah, we are accepting donations for our local children's hospital, raising money for Extra Life to help the kids that are in our local hospital by playing games, raising money. It's all good. So we will be right back in just a few minutes. night, and welcome back to DMS Adventurers Tavern, where always on the menu. Just a reminder, we do have Extra Life Tabletop Appreciation extra streams this weekend. And actually, I was just looking, and we will be raiding out to Jay Luna, who is actually playing Tabletop Simulator, which is what we will be playing tomorrow. So, it will give you an idea of what that looks like for those of you who might be joining us tomorrow. Alright. Also raising money for Extra Life. He actually happens to be raising money for the same hospital I am. And apparently we have a $3,000 challenge out from our hospital to us to try to raise $3,000 this weekend as a group. So it should be interesting. See how close we can get. We are, for the year, trying to hit over the $50,000 mark. So that is our yearly goal at this time. So we did over 40,000 last year, so we're aiming for 50,000 this year. 40,000 to 50,000. Yeah. It was like 40, I think it was like 42 or 43 or something. And yeah, we're aiming. No. I'm going from 2,000 to 4,000 as a team though. So if anybody wants to join there for the team, you can. All right. So with that, soda is gone. All right. Let's get back to this. We've got a ship that has things that are happening on it. In the time period following Cinder Striker finding another letter, seemingly mundane in its information and completely confusing based on the fact that you read the other one and now you read this one and they don't make sense. While all of this is going on, this whole adventure on the ship thing, it's weird. Like, by standards of it's a nobility thing, even this is weird. At one point, guests seem to light peace candles and ceremonially drop them off the side of the boat to float down the river. You know as well as I do that at least one of those candles fell and put itself out when they dropped it into the water. You know it happened. Yeah, and you do notice now that you're watching, Cinder Striker, you're watching the two of them, knowing that they're going, for the letters, and at one point, Oliver returns to the cabin to check. She never went back. Sorry, I just saw Kane's comment in Discord.
Blasphemy.
Yeah, and if the other ones were still open, or it wasn't 100 degrees outside, I would go. It's 92 actually at the moment. The heat wave officially ended right now. Alright, so...
I was muted. Oops.
You were. Okay. Okay. So, as the evening draws to a close, you have not identified the spy. Is there anything that any of you would like to do to try to find this spy?
I suppose.
Go ahead.
The gentleman who was playing drunk and stealing things, was he by chance an unsavory character?
I mean, he is very much... To give you a real-world equivalent, he is very much that rich playboy. He is nobility. He knows... There was a donation. I heard the sound. Thank you for... I got $100. Thank you for the $100 from an anonymous person that did that. I appreciate you. Yay! Okay. The sound effect that I don't know for sure if it goes through to the stream, but I hope it does, is actually made by one of our local extra lifers, and it's this little kid's going, yay! So, yeah.
Hey, you get your dice tray.
I do get my dice tray! Oh! Yay! Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Alright. Sorry, I get a little distracted. It's fine. It's fine. It's okay. I like raising money for kids. I do. It's fun. I like playing games. I like raising money for kids. It's a thing.
Not like last night when you were working on Extra Life stuff, Ashley was literally in your arms.
It's true. As soon as I started working on Extra Life stuff, Ashley comes up and goes, "Oh, hey, you're doing things for kids. I will help you." Yeah. All right. Okay, buddy. I know. I said yay. I was so excited. Here, let's do a treat time. Ready? Treats.
That was a little aggressive.
It was aggressive. Treats. All right. Bonus treat time. All right. So, with that, the Tybalt is very much that, that frat, noble, rich, college kid that can get away with everything and anything. Very much that persona.
Is he like the two kids of Henry Winkler on Parks and Rec?
Yes.
And he seemed too stupid to be a spy.
I mean, either that or he's really, really smart. I mean...
His sister is sneaking around doing stuff.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's kind of he's either too stupid to be a spy, or he is just smart enough to pull off too stupid to be a spy. Yeah.
He's the only one I've really had my eye on, so...
I mean, he very much made it not difficult to be, the very obvious. Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay.
I do have a question.
Sure.
My question is, how's the magician? Is he still trying to do magic?
Give me a perception check, actually. You cannot find him. He is, gone. You have no idea where this guy went.
Huh?
He did a trick right.
He did a trick right. He went, and he is gone.
That is suspicious. I mean,
it's either suspicious or it's impressive. I mean, yeah.
We haven't seen... Are the half-elf people we saw on the train the cousins, nephews?
The half-elf people that Cinder did on the train? No.
Have we seen those two?
You have not. Nope. No, you have not seen them since you got off the train, actually. They are not amongst the nobles that are here.
Are they amongst the staff or anybody else?
Nope.
What's the mage doing?
Huh?
What's the mage doing?
She is, she's continuing to kind of watch over the ship, and, you catch, she is periodically finding people, and there are times when, people are being escorted off of the ship because she has found that they have weapons or whatever.
Has she gone downstairs at all?
She has. She is one of the ones that has free reign of this full ship.
Yeah, but is she sneaking in and out of rooms?
She does not seem to be sneaking. She just, you get, when you see her, she is opening doors like she is meant to be there. There is no sneaking involved.
Okay, but is she doing weird stuff?
No. Nope. Doesn't seem like it.
From an elevated position, is there anything that really strikes me as off? If I was to move up into the front?
Give me a perception check. So as you go on to the forecastle there, you catch, the gnome, conductor is up there with the mechanical instruments. They are playing through the night. And, yeah, like, I would say because you are a man of mechanical means, the tinkering, that stuff, this band is just, it's weird, but it's, like, a strange, not bad, but weird. I mean, it is a dog and a pig, and, there's all kinds of things going on here. You've got farm animals playing instruments.
Are they legit or are they like robotic?
They're robotic. They're constructs, but they're shaped like farm animals. There's the dog playing the flute, the horse playing the drum, the pig playing the lute, and a cow playing the viola. I mean, like, from a standpoint for you, it's weird, but it's not bad weird. It's just, like, weird.
Like, interesting choices.
Yes. Like, I mean, they're all standing on hind legs, dressed in military uniforms. It just makes you go, huh. And actually, I would say, go ahead and, give me a investigation check. While you're just kind of standing there, you're listening to the band, you're watching, you're looking. Okay. That puts it at a 19. Nice. You catch that, there's, like, the way that the setup is, like, it looks as if she could interact with, the constructs and possibly, affect them in ways. Such as, like, there's something off about the dog.
Something about a dog of war, like, catch my brain?
Possibly.
You said it was the conductor that can do something?
Uh-huh. You notice that there's rings at the floor of the conductor that she is pressing on at certain times.
Like it's like the animals are an instrument and
Correct.
She's playing them?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And the dog's out of tune.
Well, it's not out of tune, it just, you catch that that's the one that looks like there might have another purpose.
Alright, I gotta think a minute.
Okay. Alright. And actually give me a Arcana check, please. Okay. Okay.
Actually, I get a D4 with that, I think.
Okay.
Because of archaeologist. Or no, for something.
For a thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
I tried to
For reasons.
I tried to put it in there, but when I leveled up, it deleted it.
For reasons. We'll go with it for reasons. Alright. Now, answer me this question first. How much do you think that Arthur would be around musical instrument type things, other than the 2 bards that you have?
No, probably not much.
So,
not of interest.
Probably not a whole lot of experience with conductor's wands then, correct?
Probably not.
Okay. This one looks a little wandy.
A little too tapered at the end or something?
Yeah, not just a conductory. Uh-huh.
Looks more wand than baton.
Yes, it looks much more wand than baton.
I would like to, I have a question.
Yep.
Is livestock like a rarity or a novelty around here because everything's so advanced, or?
No, it's still there. It's just,
I'm thinking like, most people haven't experienced, the livestock, seeing them perform would be like, ooh.
I would say because this is more nobility based, yeah, probably. They don't have a whole lot of, one-on-one experience with animals. They may own them. They may have people who deal with them for them, but they don't necessarily. They're not the ones mucking out the stalls and stuff.
Okay. Also, Kribis should feel very at home here with a bunch of animatronic animals playing in a band.
I mean, right?
And I'm gonna go offer the conductress like a drink or food, whatever I have that I'm handing around.
Okay. As you do so, she's like, I'm good, thanks, I'm good.
You sure?
Yep. I'm working here.
Okay. Let me know if you change your mind.
No problem. And she kind of, goes back to, Arthur, she has acknowledged you. She does not, she is not, watching you completely, but she has acknowledged you're up there with her.
Are we not supposed to be up here?
No, she's just acknowledging that you're there.
I'm going to pretend that I'm thoroughly enjoying the music, and I'm just going to hang out for a minute.
Perfect.
Keep a watchful eye.
Okay.
Do I get the sense that she was being honest, she's just focusing on work, or?
She's focusing on something. Give me an insight check. It's true. It's just like Chuck E. Cheese's. It's true. That's what it is. She's focusing on something. It's probably not so much the music as the people around her.
Does she have spellcaster concentration face?
Kinda.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'll pass Arthur on my way back down and say, concentrating on a spell or something.
Which, I mean, you wouldn't be super surprised, because, she has got mechanical animals happening, but yeah. The name is Kribis Decrease.
As Cinder's walking by and talking to me, and I take a glass of wine off her tray, I will suggest maybe trying to find that magician lady, the mage.
Okay.
Have her take a look.
Okay.
Subtly.
You gonna go talk to the...
No, I'm gonna plant the idea in Cinder's mind. I want to stay here and watch.
Yes, I get it, Kribis. I love it. I love it so
And it rhymes
much.
with Chuck E. Cheese.
It does.
Kribis.
It does. I love it so much. Yes. Which is why it's really funny. Yeah. Okay. All right. So, yeah.
I will go to wherever the mage is and kind of. Is there like another server right there?
Yeah.
And I'll act like I'm just like trying to gossip with them and saying, "Man, that conductor lady, she sure is grumpy. It's like she's concentrating on like something super important, not just, a dog." Trying to be a little subtle about, hey, go check her for magic. I don't care what the person I'm talking to thinks. I'm trying to just.
Okay. Hi, Mr. City Watch Investigator mode initiated. As he runs around the ship.
I am a private eye, after all.
I know you are. All right. So while all of that is going on, actually, Krebus, you would notice that the sister seems to leave the party alone, almost seemingly heartbroken in the way that she carries herself.
Oh, that's sad.
And it is just before midnight. She seems to leave the ship, and as you watch, she leaves alone.
She doesn't leave the ship, she leaves the room.
No, she leaves the ship.
Leaves ship, oh no.
Right before the big finale fireworks?
Yep. But she seems almost heartbroken. Like, just very low, very, sad, as she leaves. And Cinder Striker, you notice that the other servants seem to rush off the ship, quickly setting up a row of brightly painted rockets that point towards the sky. And it is just at midnight as the fuses sputter with sparks and the rockets fly into the night, exploding with a thunderous display of bright colors. As the guests of the ship gaze up at the fireworks and the band plays to its crescendo, Lady Mercida collapses in a heap on the floor. As guests rush to help her, you notice that some of them start screaming. The lady is dead. Now this is the one that
The grumpy lady.
No, this is the youngest daughter of the Speaker of Parliament. This is the one that's very much the ditzy noblewoman.
Oh no.
Uh-huh. So, with that, yeah. The lady is dead.
Was there any change in the band?
As the screams start and the lady is discovered to be dead, give me a perception check, actually.
From whom?
Arthur. You see that the band director, seems to try to, she leaves the band there and is seemingly leaving the ship in the confusion.
Well, hell.
She's not the only one leaving the ship at this point. There are many people who are leaving the ship, as it is a mass exodus away from the dead body.
She appears to be slinking away, not so much.
Correct.
Mm-hmm. I gave the sending stone to Dorian.
You did.
So I will say, grab that conductor. Well, I mean, I don't know how far away she is from me. Is she like? Am I watching her slink off the side of the ship right now, or is she just like?
Well, it's like a mass exodus. There's people leaving, and she seemingly left the band there and just put herself into the group of people that are exiting the ship.
Yeah, I will tell Dorian to follow her. I want to look at the dog.
Okay. Okay.
Does it look like all the other animals?
So give me a
Follow her.
investigation check of the dog, please.
Did the band stop playing when she left?
Yeah.
They did. So you notice as soon as you get up close enough to it and give it a really good look that this dog is playing a flute, and the flute is set to fire poison darts.
Communist.
Whenever the person steps on the ring.
So they're just like firing a bunch of poison darts all night?
Not necessarily.
Just whenever she steps on the thing?
Whenever she steps on that specific spot.
Okay.
Yep.
But the dog is still animatronic. It's still there. It's not gone.
Still there. If you knew how to operate it, you could probably operate it.
Probably shooting myself with a dart.
I mean, possibly.
If I go look over the edge, do I see all the, is the mage down there with the dead lady?
She is.
I will go inform her of what I've found.
Okay. And you see that there are now knights up on the ship as well. Yeah. So, Dorian, are you trying to stop the conductor?
He asked me to follow, so I suppose I'll do so subtly.
Okay. All right.
While I'm at the dead body, can I do like or would it matter if I did spare the dying or something?
It wouldn't matter. She's already gone.
All right.
Though really and truly, as a member of the Watch, I should have tried to keep people from leaving, as this has now become an active crime scene.
It has. And as you try to the best of your ability, stop everybody and try to find this gnome conductor, they have seemingly slipped away.
How does everyone keep disappearing?
Some shorty squad people, they're squirrely folks.
Someone's getting real bad Yelp reviews.
Okay. So, with that,
I'd like to see how the staff is reacting.
they are like they're kind of split. Some of them are trying to run in to help. Some of them are like noping right on out of there. Some seem to be heading to the warehouse. It's just a mixture. There's like random people that have ended up, servant-wise, that have ended up in the water because they got pushed by nobility trying to get off the ship. It's to use a word that I really enjoy. It's a clusterfuck.
Do I get the feeling that it's nobility died, everybody run before we all get blamed and killed for it?
Yep. Yeah, it's not the fun kind. No. But it is right there, with all of these questions up in the air, that we will actually end for tonight. Because it's no fun if we don't have weird questions up in the air.
Cliffhangers.
This one over here. Thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you for for just being able to hang out with us here within the DMS Adventures Tavern. Just a reminder, we do have our Extra Life Tabletop Weekend kicked off officially, and we're going to be playing some tabletop RPG games, not only D&D, but also on Tabletop Simulator. If you want to come and play, going to try to aim for some of that tomorrow.
Also, thanks, Anonymous.
Thanks, Anonymous. I appreciate you. But thank you so much for hanging out here within DMS Adventures Tavern. We're going to go ahead and raid over to Jay Luna, who is also raising money for Extra Life. By the way, whose birthday was yesterday. So I got to hang out with him for his birthday yesterday. But he is on the path to raising $300. Although I think after last night, they may be aiming for $1,000 because he said he'll dye his hair for $300, but they want to be specific in their color choices. So I told him to aim for $1,000. Maybe that might be a better choice. But we're going to go ahead and raid over to Jay Luna. He's raising money for the same hospital that I am. And after all, it is all about raising money, playing games for the kids. So thank you so much for hanging out with us here at the tavern. We will see you tomorrow. And until next time, thanks for hanging out in DMS Adventures Tavern, where adventure is always on the menu. Thanks, guys.